Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades in the weekly recap. Before I get into the video, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, I did finish the week with 19 wins and 1 loss, so I only took 1 loss this week, so I did have a win rate of 95%, so I can't complain about that. Very, very good week, strong week. A short week, we had Monday off because of President's Day, and usually short weeks I struggle, but I did pretty good this week, so I'm definitely pleased about that. Now, the Trade Ideas room, I said on Tuesday, I said, let's see, what was Tuesday, the 16th? No, the 21st. Oh yeah, I didn't put anything out on Wednesday because of FOMC. Let's see, 17th, 21st, right there. Now, Trade Ideas room on the 21st, it says SPY puts under 403, which is right lower the day right here is 403.24. I just rounded down to 403. First 2-minute candle was green. Don't even have my plays up. Kind of off the game here. Let's see. Here we go. I waited for the first 2-minute candle to form. Once it formed, I took puts under lower day, which is the 403.04. You can just say 403 if you want to round down. I took the 40.25 puts at 8.10, and they went from 8.10 to 11.80 in that drop right there. Right there. You can see it popped up right there. So I did reload 10.47 right here. I didn't, for some reason I thought I reloaded up here. Now I caught this drop, I didn't touch it, came back down, made a green candle, which I usually call the FU candle, but it didn't really quite fit the narrative of the FU scenario because the candles were really not that large, but it did put in a green candle, and I do still kind of like it. So when I put in a new lower day, I grabbed the 40.20 puts at 960 underneath the 401.50 area. So I grabbed the 40.20 puts at 960, and they went from 960 to 1170 right there. Then I grabbed calls at what, 1129, which is right here. I'm not quite sure why I grabbed. Oh, okay, I see why I grabbed it. Right at the 400 level. Didn't quite get to 400. Came pretty close. Let's see, where is it? Right here. Trying to get the right day on the hourly here. The 17th, 21st. Yeah, I can see right over here. But yeah, it was closer to 400. I took it anyways a little early. Sometimes with SPY, it likes to undershoot and overshoot levels, and this particular time it undershot the 400 area right down here. Got down to what the low was, what, 434. I got it early. It did pop a little bit. So those 40.20 calls went from $8 to $9. Then I grabbed the calls again when it dropped down even below, let's see, 1202, right? It hit 400. No, it didn't even hit 400 here. What was the low on that one? 413. Another one, they undershot it. So I grabbed it again. As soon as it made new lower day, I grabbed it again right here. I grabbed the 40.15 calls this time at $8. I'm gonna look at this again. Why did they do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I see what it did. It made a mistake right here. I was trying to figure out why that was set $8.16 when it should have said $8. Okay. Anyways, I took the 4.15 calls right here at $8, and they went from $8 to $9.60 right here in that little pop. Then I grabbed them again at 119. 129, which is right here when it broke lower day again, when it got close to 400. That's when I grabbed the 4005 calls this time at 860. I got it right down here. No, 129. Right down here. When I went underneath 400, that's where I grabbed it. 129. When I went underneath 400, figured the algos would jump in and start buying at 400. So I grabbed it at 860. It flushed underneath. I ended up averaging down at 670, making my new average 720. Then it popped up and went to 860, and I took it. So kind of thought we'd have a bigger bounce than that, but when it started to like undershoot 400 here, then it flushed through it, and I thought for sure at 400, when it went at 400 to bounce more, or if it flushed underneath to take out the calls, it would actually have a really big bounce. But no, I just flushed right through, and then it ended up having 400 as a resistance right here. So it was kind of unique how that ended up happening. Usually a big round number like that, they'll have a lot of buying, and it just it did right here, a little bit of undershooting, and then it just flushed right through it. And I was just surprised it didn't bounce when I went underneath 400, at least to up here 401. Not much of anything, but because I averaged down, I was able to get out with some profit. So that did end up working out on that. So just not kind of the end of the day I was expecting. I really thought we were going to get more action at 400, but it just didn't end up happening. SPY has been kind of really hard to predict lately. Used to be able to look at, been talking about all week long in the room that you used to use VWAP, support and resistance as areas to buy and sell, and short and buy. And it just, when it gets to VWAP, it doesn't reject anymore. It doesn't bounce anymore. It goes straight through it. So that's why lately I've been buying calls and puts through the VWAP, depending on the direction, just because there's been so much disconnect from it. It just gets to it like right here. It gets to VWAP, just storms right through it. It gets to VWAP right here, flushes, goes through it. It did reject a little bit, then it just went through it again. It's just been like that all for like weeks. Right here, it bounced a little bit and flushed through it. It rejected a little bit right here and flushed right. It raged right through it. So it's just been kind of crazy. So that's why I haven't been afraid to play through the VWAP area. Just saying that some areas that just have been rejecting and having support just doesn't seem to work out as much, and you just have to adapt to the way the market is. And I really thought 400 would get a bigger bounce than that. It just was kind of a dud. So now on Wednesday, FOMC, I didn't put out anything in the morning. I don't normally trade FOMC days in the morning. I probably should start trading on FOMC days in the morning on days that Powell aren't there. When Powell speaks, SPX is so expensive because of him speaking, and you end up playing a 100-point move on FOMC even at 2 o'clock. And even if you play the morning, you're playing a huge amount of premium on SPX, and I just don't touch it. So I've been ignoring FOMC, but I've noticed the last couple of FOMCs where Powell's not speaking that I'd ignored the morning. I probably shouldn't have. I could have got a good play out of that right there. I could have got a good play out of this, and I just didn't. I just said, I'm just taking the morning off. I'll be back in the afternoon, and didn't touch anything. But I did end up playing some stuff, though. I think I just realized after this big move, I should have probably played that because the SPX premiums were pretty cheap, but it is what it is. I did take a play at 11:33. Let's see, I took 40-10 calls at 11:33, which is right here. It dropped down, came back up, got it through VWAP. Right when it crossed VWAP again over the 329.25 area, and that's where I grabbed the 40-10 calls at 780, and they went from 780 to 940 right there. Got a nice little play out of that. Then I grabbed calls at 106, which is right here. You can see it rejected high day, pulled back, and it came quickly back up. That's where I grabbed the 40-20 calls at 730, and they went from 730 to 960 right there. I wasn't even sure if I'd actually get a play or not, because being so close to FOMC, and I just looked at it from the point of view, well, if it didn't pop, I'll just use that leg as the FOMC strangle, but it did pop. I did take it. Then my FOMC strangle play, I had 4,000 puts at 690. And actually, yeah, just get back to this one. This one I got the 40-20 calls at 730 and went to 960. So got a nice $1.30 move out of that, $2.30 move out of that. So got to take the $2 moves on that. I mean, if you're playing 10 contracts and you're up $2,000, you're not taking it, you need to really rethink what you're doing. So FOMC, I took, let's see, 4,000 puts at 690, and I took 40-20 calls at $8. So the first move, it popped. I ended up dumping the calls. They ended up going from $8 to $9.70, $1.70 move on that. Not much. Then it dumped. Those 4,000 puts went from $6.90 to $13. It's really kind of crazy how I did that. I mean, the first move's usually the wrong when it popped. It sold that leg of the strangle, then held on to the puts and got rid of them. So ended up working out okay. So had a good FOMC play. Not as crazy as it could have been. I mean, but even these candles right here going from 401 to 398.50. I mean, you're talking $2.50 move. Doesn't seem like much, but if you're getting at the money or close to at the money SPX, I mean, they go 100% very, very, very easily. Because there's no Powell. Now, if there was Powell, you probably wouldn't have made hardly anything off that. You would have really needed a substantial move to get 100%. You would have needed to get at least a $5-6 move. It's just so expensive when Powell's speaking. So FOMC days where there's no Powell, to me, I think are the best ones, and because you can get at the money. So FOMC ended up being a good play. Then I took SPX calls at 316, which is right here. It came back down, dropped, got below lower day, got bought. And when as soon as it got over the 397.90 area, I grabbed the 39.85 calls at 560, and they went from 560 to 650 in that push. Then when it came back down, I reloaded, and they went from actually, when I reloaded, I got them at 530, get them a little cheaper, and it dropped a little more. Then it ended up popping at the end of the day, and they ended up going from 530 to 740 on that. So it ended up being a good play. So got two nice plays end of the day. The end of the day plays have been really, really good if you can catch the right direction, and we got the right direction on this one. So I just got it early, but definitely a good FOMC day. Haven't taken a loss yet. My only loss was on Thursday, and that's this day. Trade ideas room on, let's see, the 23rd. SPY puts at a 400, which is right here. We had stuff in the morning. I don't remember what it was. I have to actually look. The 23rd, is that what it was? We had preliminary GDP and unemployment claims. So it dropped and it popped. And I said, okay, on the 400, take puts. And the first candle ended up being red. Then when it came back up, went over a higher day, I took calls. I took the 40-30 calls at 810. And they went from 810 to 1070. So we got a nice little play out of that. Then it dropped back down underneath the lower day right here, underneath the 401 area. That's where I took puts. I took the 40-10 puts at 840, and they went from 840 to 840 to 1050 right there. And it ended up holding the 200 EMA. And it bounced up a little bit. Then it came back down. I grabbed puts again at 1045, which is right here. When it got broke below lower day of the, let's say 450, I think it was. I grabbed the 4,005 puts at 880, and they went from 880 to 1690, almost 100% move. Then I took calls at 1107, which is right 1107. I took it right here. For some unknown reason, I'm not quite sure why I took it here. I have no idea why I took it here. I don't know. let's see, what was the time? 11:07. 11:07 right here. I don't know why I took it here. I honestly don't know why. I took it there. I took the 4,000 calls at 870 at 11:07. Then I ended up averaging down 11:15, which is right here down here. Probably should have waited for lower day. It wouldn't have mattered anyways because I ended up averaging down 11 at 740, 11:15 right here, right in here. My new average was 805. Then I just dumped it at 490. It didn't really matter. I don't know why I took it here. I mean, that kind of was probably something I shouldn't have done. This was a total FU move right here. You get this massive red candle. Then you get this green candle thinking that the exhaustion came in and that dip buyers are coming in. They're going to take over. And they popped a little bit. And right here is where I should have taken puts. I should have not taken calls in here. That's a mistake. I could have avoided that loss. I'm not sure why I grabbed calls right here. I don't know what I was thinking at this point in time. But that's a loss I could have avoided right there. But I did take puts at 152, which is right 152 right here. I grabbed puts right here for some reason, and these puts actually ended up working out. I grabbed the 39.90 puts at 840, and they went from 840 to 980. I'm not quite sure why I grabbed it here either. I mean, maybe just backing out just a little bit, see what's happening over here. I'm not quite sure why I grabbed it here. I mean, there's a little bit of a pivot right here, but I don't really, not much to really grab puts right there. The 20 EMAs right here, VWAP's up here, 200 EMAs up here. Not unless PDC was right here. Oh, that's what it was. PDC, here's the close right here. This is why I grabbed, calls right here. I got it because it's PDC. Thought it was going to bounce off PDC, and it didn't. It flushed straight through it. So yeah, that's why I grabbed it right there, and that's why I grabbed puts right here, because we dropped well below PDC and it came back to PDC. We got a PDC rejection. That's why I grabbed calls there, and that's why I grabbed puts here. Okay, that makes sense now. I probably should have still haven't done that because you got a perfect FU setup right here, but it is what it is. So that call puts right here, 840 to 980. It did work out. So now on Friday was kind of a crazy day, kind of a channel day. Trade Ideas Room calls over 396, which is right here. We get the massive drop for news. What was the news again on Friday? I have terrible memories. Core PCE news and market dumped. Whenever I have a huge red candle, a drop in pre-market on news, almost every single time it will pop it open because everybody's going to rush into puts, and the market makers are going to squeeze them out open, and when they jump in, they're going to get squeezed out. So I didn't wait the 10-minute candle. I told everybody in the room, if it breaks this 396 level, I'm taking it immediately, and it did. I grabbed the 39.80 calls at 8:30, and I took it at 9:34 a.m. Not even 4 minutes. And as soon as it broke, I took it. 39.80 calls at 8:30, and then went from 8:30 to 10:40. So $2 plus move right there. Then it dumped. I didn't take puts right here. I should have taken puts here. I don't know why I didn't. I remember watching it break lower day, and I was like, I don't want to take puts. And for some reason, I just didn't. I thought we were going to get this kind of a move right here. We were going to get like drop here when it was going to pop and just go to 400, and it just dumped. I should have taken puts right there. That's one thing I kind of regretted this entire week. I should have taken puts right there, and I didn't. But I did take calls at 11:07, which is right here. As you can see, it's both sides that's getting hammered on the VWAP. It's underneath 394 is getting bought. So when it came back up to VWAP after the third time, this area of 394.75 for the third, fourth time I grabbed it. I grabbed the 39.60 calls at $8, and they went from $8 to 10.30. And then I grabbed calls at 9.41, which is right here when it broke higher day. So yeah, I grabbed the push through VWAP. Then it came back down. I waited when it got back up to higher day. That's where I grabbed calls. I grabbed another set of calls. I grabbed the 39.65 calls this time. I got them at 9.40, and they went from 9.40 to 15.10 right there. So a nice little play on that. Then I grabbed puts at 12.40, which is right here. You see it flagging right there. I thought it was going to pop. I thought we were getting like an inverted head and shoulders. You get the left, and you get the head, and you get the right shoulder right here. And I remember looking at it. If it gets over 396, I think I even called 396 in the room, but the real area was 396.25. It started to go that way, then it dropped, and when it got below this 395, or actually getting ready back down to VWAP, that's why I switched to puts. I grabbed the 39.55 puts at $8, and they went from $8 to $11.20 right there. It flushed through VWAP again, flushed through VWAP. Then the last play of the day, I took calls at 121, which is rate 121 right here. Right through VWAP again, dropped down. A couple of small candles right there. I was thinking it was going to stay in the range, put in a higher low. When I got over the I think it was said 395 in the room. If I got over 395, that's where I was taking the 39.55 calls, and they did. Took them at $9, and they went from $9 to $10.90 in that push right there. So that ended up being a pretty good move, and I just stopped playing for the rest of the day. Had a good day. My thing is, I've been capping my option trades in the main account at 5 trades, and playing the rest in IRAs and small accounts I have. So getting those, trying to grow those up and get those going more. So I don't need to trade any more than 5 trades in my main account anyway. It's just, to me, it's just over trading. And anything left over that I like, I just trade in the other retirement account. So that's why the retirement accounts just end up having a lot of good plays that I don't usually cover sometime in my main account. But it is what it is, and week definitely good. If you can't make money off 5 good trades a day, then all you need is 1 good trade. Just like if this trade right here, if you were to take this trade, you had a $2 move, 10 contracts, that's $2,000. I mean, $2,000 a day. Most people don't make $2,000 a week. So all it takes is 1 play, the right play. You don't need to trade everything underneath the sun or every move. All it takes is 1. So that's going to do it for the recap, and thanks for watching.